The Real Journey to Real Pilates, Episode 4. So finally, I had my standalone Pilates studio in Tobacco Road. I was super, super, super psyched. All my clients came pouring in. The place was busy. And in no time at all, I was booked to the nines. I had no more space to put any new clients. And that became a problem. I didn't want to turn people away from the benefits of Pilates, but there just wasn't enough to go around. The space next to me, which was identical, right next to me, I looked at it and I go, I could just cut a hole in this wall and join the two suites. Brilliant. So I ran to the landlord, Michael Latner, again, and I said, Michael, how long is the lease for the guy next door, Mark? And he looked at me, starts laughing. He goes, Nikki, that guy's been there over 30 years. He's an institution. He books all the rock bands for the Tobacco Road. Mark had a bric-a-brac store. He had records, CDs, paraphernalia, posters, collectibles. The place was just like a time warp when you walk in there. You lose sense of time. He had all this interesting, weird stuff in there. And so I looked at Michael and I go, Michael, I want you to promise I have first dibs on that space if it becomes available. And he was laughing. He goes, don't hold your breath. I go, Michael, handshake. He shook my hand. About a week later, Michael struts into the studio and he goes, Nikki, what have you done? I go, what did I do? He said, Mark said he's leaving. He had an inspiration that he wants to go and open up another place in his own bar in the Keys, Key West. And I was like, oh, that means that I get that space because you shook my hand on it. He goes, I can't believe you. It took Mark over a month to move out. He had so much stuff in there. And in the meantime, I had to order my Pilates tables. I had no way of gauging the size of that place. When I asked if there were blueprints, everyone laughed and goes, this building is over 100, 150 years old. Nobody has any idea what size that space is. We haven't seen the floor in that place in over 30 years. So just on instinct and intuition, I went ahead and ordered an additional 8 tables like this one. Mark moved out. I got in there. I put my mirrors all up. Of course, I was the first and only to put mirrors on the ceiling. Why not? When you're laying down, you always look up at the ceiling. That, of course, broke every code in Miami building department for safety and for fire reasons because, if the mirror fell while you were laying under there, it would get pretty gruesome. But I was good about it. I made sure my mirrors were screwed in place with a frame and glued, so they were safe. And I had them in small pieces eventually. If they did fall, you wouldn't really get that hurt. But that's another story. So I had everything ready. The tables came, and we start unboxing them. And my daughter looks at me and goes, Mom, do you think they're going to fit? I go, they'll fit, and it'll be just right. Sure enough, the tables fit. We had to put them catty corner, 45-degree angles to get them in, but the studio was stunning. It was a smashing success. I was the pioneer to start teaching Pilates with a group environment with more than one table. Of course, all the scoffers in the industry said that it was not protocol and that I was breaking the rules and that I had no business teaching that and that it was foolhardiness. And I just said, look at the studio of Joseph Pilates. He had 10 tables in his studio. So zip it good. And so the story continued. I was so successful and I got so full that's episode 5. Stay tuned for that. The goal is to always dream it, believe it, and you will achieve it. There are no rules, just the rules of your heart. This is Pilates Master Nikki, and I'll see you in class.